Great. Good morning, guys. Back at it with another MLB DFS video. Probably the sweatiest cash I've ever had. I don't know about you, but definitely for me. Um, did a Yankees and Cubs stack with Urias at pitcher. Um, Stanton 2-run home run. Ian Happ 1 for 2, 1 run, 1 RBI, 2 walks. Bellinger got in that same range, 1 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI. Stolen base. Swanson, little disappointing, but 1 for 3 with a run and a walk. I think the most tilting thing was leadoff man Bowers over 4, and he was like sub 10%. And the whole Urias thing. So I turned on the game, top of the 6th inning, because I was going to watch Urias pitch. Like, hopefully he gets a strikeout or two, finishes. As soon as I load the game up, he's sitting on the bench laughing, like talking to his teammates. I'm like, what is he laughing at? Why does he have like a sweatshirt on? They didn't put him in, but getting the win points definitely helped us a bit. Sweaty cash, but it's money. Give me some takeaways from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean the Urias thing was kind of tilting, but he could pull like 70 pitches or something. But I mean Otani, we kind of got lucky with that. He got pulled at what, like 50 pitches because his hand was hurting or something. I don't even know what he was pulled for, but Otani getting yanked was really the only reason we were able to make cash. Yankees were pretty disappointing. Tried to get a stack that was under 10%. They were like right around 10%. Judge did absolutely nothing. Stanton did his job. Bowers hit one like 390 at his first at bat. Thought he was gone. Was not. Um, I mean, it was just an all right slate. We went with Urias just for the win points. Minus 300 against Oakland. You just kind of expect that. It's not always going to happen just because it's baseball, but it's happened the last couple of slates for the Dodgers pitchers. So we just went with that, rolled with the bats. They didn't really pull through. Move on to the next slate.
Yeah, today's a bit of an interesting slate. Definitely some good bats and some pitchers you can get to. I'm still in shock about Bowers going 0 for 4. He had like 2 or 3 flyouts, and then freaking Uriah is getting pulled. I think it was at like 67 or 68 pitches. But I guess when you're playing Oakland, you don't want to throw out your arm, which I kind of get, but they couldn't really let him go 6. Let him go like 85 pitches max, just to give us some extra points. Come on. Um, all right, let's jump into pitching. Speaking of pitchers, pretty big slate today, but we got Nola, Castillo, Detmers, Montgomery, Yu Darvish, Brown, Lazardo. The list just goes on and on here. It's definitely some interesting spots besides the chalk guys, but what are you thinking for today?
Yeah, I mean the first guy I liked was Demers, and then I saw 20% ownership, and I was like, ew. But then I looked at the pricing around him, like I much rather play 9K Detmers than 95 Jordan Montgomery. I'd much rather play hold on, let me just pull it back up there a second. I would much rather play Demers over 98 Darvish against Dodgers. Hunter Brown is kind of interesting because the Yankees have been so shit, but it is a pretty good home run park. Obviously, Yankee Stadium. He could get blown up, but if he keeps maybe one, he lets one out of the yard, stays in range of like 7Ks, Brown could be somewhat serviceable at 9,200. Only 5% ownership. Castillo 10-7, sure, because he's not owned. 5%, some minimal leverage there, but I don't know if I really want to pay 10-7. I think I want to get some more bats today than pay up for pitcher. Nola at 10K is a fair price tag against KC. 35% ownership is extremely steep. Um, he'll probably bury us, but I don't think we'll probably get there just to be a little different. Luzardo, on the road against Texas, probably not for me. Either side of this Kelly Ober matchup is somewhat interesting. I think I would side with Kelly, but 10-2, wish he was like 9-5. I'd be more interested. Logan Allen, I think I'd rather play Detmers, same price. Colin Ray, definitely not at 10% ownership. Paxton at no ownership, I kind of like. Toronto's been pretty mediocre for like a month and a half, it feels like. So some interest in Paxton. I don't think I would play anyone under 8,700 Bobby Miller. Like these 7K guys just don't interest me at all. Ray, Peterson, Severino, definitely not Lyles, definitely not Clevenger, Manoa, Priester, Flexen. Like just not going to play any of these trash cans. I think I'll stick somewhere in that 9 to 10K range. Haven't decided if I'm going to play this Devers chalk or not, but Nola at 35% is going to be the make or break of the slate.
Yeah, both sides of Castillo Detmers look good. I do know that obviously Castillo's 10-7, but playing the Angels, I mean, it's the Angels. Um, and he's only getting 5% ownership, and it makes sense because he's 10-7, whereas Detmers is 17% right now. So 9-9 Nola looks interesting, obviously playing Kansas City 33%. So if I had to rank those top three, it's probably in the order, if I'm being honest. Nola, Castillo, Detmers, those would be like ranking those three. Darvish against San Diego, no. Hunter Brown's a little interesting. He's only getting 5% against the Yankees at 9,200. He does give up some power from time to time. And even though the Yankees have been pretty bad, I don't know. There's something about playing Hunter Brown that I'm kind of like half and half on. Um, yeah, Merrill Kelly and Ober is a little interesting there. Logan Allen 8-8 against the White Sox, getting 8%. I remember watching a stochastic show, and there was something about how, for whatever reason, they like kind of like the same situation as Urias last night. Logan Allen would do like pretty decent, besides maybe walking like two or three guys, and then they'd pull him, and his pitch count is like okay. Like they'd pull him after 5 innings. It's against the White Sox though, so I mean, I don't know. That's kind of interesting there. At like sub 10%, that might be a little interesting. Although this is a pretty big slate, there really isn't much else to get to. I would kind of just focus on Nola Castillo Detmers and then maybe look into Kelly Ober and then Logan Allen, possibly. That's pretty much about it for me. The one thing about Bobby Miller you brought up, like how price wise you shouldn't go underneath Bobby Miller. San Diego is supposed to be this. Obviously, they just played in quarters, so they were hitting the ball left and right. But they have Soto, Machado, and Tatis, and their record doesn't show that all those guys have been amazing. And obviously, Tatis was suspended a lot of the time too. But um, Bobby Miller would be an interesting pivot just because they haven't been hitting, 5 home runs a game. So definitely an interesting option, but wouldn't really make that a priority. All right. Jumping into stacks now. So right now it's got Boston, Philly, St. Louis, Houston, Baltimore, Toronto, Milwaukee, Colorado, Cleveland, Texas, and the list goes on and on and on. It's kind of interesting to see Boston at the top. It kind of makes sense because of Manoa, but What are some stacks that you like today? Even the not chalk ones.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time deciding between Boston and Philly who to prioritize because I do think the Boston price tags are pretty nice. Devers at 3,500 is cheap. Costas has been doing well, 3,400. Duran 3,300. Duvall 3,300. Yoshida 3,200. Like you can fit all the Boston guys and a good pitcher, which is nice. Philly is a little harder to fit, obviously. I mean, let's check out Schwarber's tag. Schwarber's 38, Harper's 34. I guess they dropped a little bit. Castellanos only 3K, Real Muto 3K. Trey Turner's been awful, 3K. Don't think I'd play him, honestly. But now I say that, he's going to go double dog or something. But yeah, I mean, I think one of those teams is probably my priority main stack. I think St. Louis is also pretty interesting against Flexen. It's also Goldschmidt MVP bobblehead night. So just saw that on Twitter. I thought that was interesting. That means he's going yard. Um, Houston against Severino, lefty power, obviously. Tucker, Yordi, one of them is probably going yard to the short porch in Yankee Stadium. Baltimore and the Mets, I think, look pretty interesting in that matchup. Peterson, Kremer, both pretty mediocre, I would say. I mean, Kremer's definitely better than Peterson, but I mean, I won't say anything that's anything to brag about. Mets have been very disappointing. Depends what kind of lineup they throw out there. Yesterday, threw out an absolute trash can lineup, and that's why they got absolutely destroyed by the Royals. So we'll see what they throw out there today. If I've had any interest there. Toronto's kind of up there. Don't think I really want to target them against Paxton. Same with Milwaukee. I don't think I'm going to chase their 14-1 performance yesterday. Um, Cleveland against Clevenger. Sure. Maybe like a mini. Usually their price tags are pretty fair, so maybe a little Cleveland in there. Yankees against Hunter Brown, like we said, could give up some home runs in that park. And not much else. So I had 8 teams: Mets, O's, Houston, Yanks, Philly, Cleveland, Boston, St. Louis.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with those. Boston looks kind of the best. Just I think it's just based off of Manoa, who hasn't been very good. Philly against Jordan Lyles looks good. St. Louis against Flexen, yes. Houston against Severino, who's just been god awful. Both sides of the Mets and Baltimore look kind of interesting. Truth be told, Milwaukee just looks interesting. I've said it before here. Quinn Priester is supposed to be a young, great pitcher, but just like all pitchers that are going to get lit up from time to time, this kid will definitely get lit up from time to time. Do I think Milwaukee puts up 14 runs again? Absolutely not. But Colorado against Wainwright looks interesting just because Wainwright is Wainwright. He's a legend. He's just old now, collecting a paycheck. Clevinger facing Cleveland. We never get Cleveland right, but it's also, the White Sox. Texas against Lazardo might be a little challenging, but it's also Texas, and they just got Seager back, who went 0 for 4 yesterday. And that's pretty much it. I would just target Boston, Philly, St. Louis, Houston, Cleveland, the Mets, and Orioles, and just kind of mix and match. Don't go anything below the Mets, in my opinion, because that's kind of where like the better pitchers come into play. If you're looking at the stack tool. All right. We don't got much time. So let's see what the generator thinks. We'll do 4-3-1 balance. Do you got a lock in it? You got a lock yet or no?
Nah,
Lars went yard yesterday. 74% of NOLA really likes Red Sox, a little bit of some Phillies there, a little bit of some Milwaukee, very minimal of Toronto. See the stack exposure. Holy. Kind of interesting.
Hmm.
21% Denmers compared to 74 of Nola. Christ.
Yeah, I mean, playing 35% Nola is just not going to be fun. The slate is just, it's all hinging on him, to be honest.
I don't know. The way that I see it, though, too, obviously Jordan Lyles is pitching, and they got to be like a minus 200 better
Yeah,
favorite.
they are,
Um,
they are a minus 250 favorite. Next highest is minus 185 for Wainwright, which obviously we're not playing. Pack minus 160.
26% St. Louis is a little interesting. 21% Milwaukee. Yeah, so this is definitely a great tool to get you thinking on who to stack, who not to stack. So you can save up to 20 lineups, and then all your lineups become available here. And then you can clear them to reset. You can export it to a CSV. You know, obviously you have all your players here ranking by percentage. Then you got the stack exposure here, so definitely a great tool to have. Sometimes I'm just an idiot and I don't know who I want to stack or anything, and I just rely on this tool. And recently it's been helping, so definitely worth giving it a shot. All right, home run time. Lead us off.
Gonna go Lindor, Robert, and Yordi.
I'm gonna go Man McClain because he's due. I'm gonna go Kyle Tucker, even though we hit one yesterday, and then I'm gonna go CJ Abrams, which is a bit of a crazy one, but hey, crazier things have happened. Has there been like a national tragedy recently that you know of that maybe I should take Castellanos?
Nothing off the top of my head. We'll see.
Who just passed away recently? Pee Wee Herman passed, and I think Castellanos hit a home run that day. Like the day after the Phillies played or something, he hit a home run.
Happens.
That's so weird, dude. Oh, that should just about wrap it up though, unless you got anything else to add.
No, just make sure to check out our lineup about 15 minutes before lock. See if we land on Chalk Nola or not. Should be a fun slate either way. Maybe we can get different with stacks. Shouldn't be too high owned of offense besides Boston, Philly. So maybe we can get contrarian there. Make sure to check out Stochastic's tools in our description for the data we just used, and like and subscribe if you haven't already.